What's going on, guys? Just finishing up the end of the 12-week off-season phase. Moved things around a little bit, so I'm pretty happy with how things progressed towards the end. Everything felt good except for the bench press, but then I switched some things up with the training approach, and ever since I did that the last 4 weeks, things have been progressing a good bit, probably about anywhere from 10 to 15 kilos a week I've been able to add to the exercises. So I'm happy with that and happy with the way things are going moving into the meet prep, which I have a few of the beginning of the meet prep week at the end of this video. What I wanted to talk about today was kind of the importance of using bodybuilding tactics and bodybuilding style of training away from competition to improve your foundation and to improve your performance on the platform. The trendy thing nowadays is to train year-round like you're getting ready for a competition, meaning that you're doing the competition movements year-round at high volume, high frequency. And what I see with that is two things. One, a lot of the athletes that are doing that over time don't really develop a lot of musculature, so their foundation that they're building is not going to be as high over time. And the next thing I see is that a lot of them don't last. They get burnt out or they get hurt, and you get hurt due to a lot of overuse injuries. If you're continuing to do the same thing over and over again with the same foot position and the same body mechanics, you're eventually going to start to create a lot of wear and tear on your joints and on your tissue. So a lot of those guys, and I'm sure you've seen that yourself, always get hurt, and they just don't last that long. So it's great in spurts, and you can do that in certain parts of your training, but to last 5 to 10 years to 20 years in the sport, you have to take time to dedicate to a lot of unilateral work, some isolation work, and just some things that are just a little bit less taxing on your body. So doing things like bodybuilding style of training, whether it be not so much like bro splits where it's chest, back, arms, but doing more like of a push-pull legs type of thing is going to have a huge benefit, a huge carryover. That way you're able to kind of keep the frequency going, so that way when you do move into meet prep, you're used to training at a higher frequency, but it'll allow you to use a lot of variation in the movement and variation with your training, I guess, frequency with those certain movements. So you're able to kind of switch things around a little bit. Like right now, what I'm doing for my pull days or my back days is I have 4 designated workouts, and I'll just rotate through those 4 workouts every week, and then by the time I get back to the first workout, I'm able to progressive overload on those exercises and improve on them. And I'll do that for a good 8 to 12 weeks before I have to switch up the exercises. But as long as there's improvement going on, there's really no need to, as long as there's a lot of diversity in the movements that you're doing. So I find the same thing to be true with legs and with upper body movements. Is the more diversity you can have in them with thought process of I'm specifically doing these movements to improve on my weaknesses, so that when I'm going back to competition lifting, I'm able to progress that as well. And during the bodybuilding stuff, you're able to still use a progressive overload, meaning that you're able to increase the total volume or the amount of weight lifted with reps, sets, or load in a given week to week basis, so that you know that you're getting stronger, you know that you're improving, and you're building up these things, but it's not necessarily with the competition movements themselves. So this will give you, one, it'll give you a mental break, allow you to be a little bit more refreshed when it comes time for meet prep, and 2, it's allowing you to hit a diverse group of muscles that you're not normally hitting, and building a lot on your weaknesses that you normally don't get to do. So with my pressing, I'll do a lot of floor pressing, I'll do a lot of buffalo bar pressing, and I'll do some touch and go, some dumbbells in the off season, and then as the competition gets closer, I'll throw in the pauses in hopes that everything that I've done in the off season built up all the muscles that I've isolated: shoulders, triceps, chest, in order to get my bench a lot stronger. So just some things to take into consideration whenever you're planning out your training cycles and stuff, is to have some breaks in the monotony of the competition movements. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you guys next time.